Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your boy, Mr. Owens, and after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it is great to be a part of the TMTP family. Today, I will be bringing you all a mid-week video. I'm bringing you roster news, injury updates, practice squad moves, rumors, and yes, that buzz that's surrounding a possible return from CJGJ. But before we get into all of that great news, let's continue to do our part as a community and a family. Continue to please like the videos. It helps with the visibility and the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, don't forget to do this. Make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch so you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all. Hold on. Y'all thought I was going to forget something else? Nah, I will never do that. To our loyal supporters, y'all know it's all love. Thank you for y'all continued support. None of this will be able to happen without the support of y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. So now let's dive deep into this news. So first, where things stand, our Philadelphia Eagles are off to a strong start in this 2025 NFL campaign. They're carrying momentum over from their Super Bowl 59 win heading into week 4 against those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Howie Roseman and the front office have been active, tweaking the depth charts, shoring up insurance in that secondary, and responding to some key injury moves more than anything. Today's moves are as much as about maintaining that championship level and pedigree balance as much as they are about speculation. So with that, let's dig into the roster shakeups that happened on Wednesday, September 24th. Then also what's been brewing today on Thursday, September 25th. And finally, that CJGJ question that I alluded to earlier. You know, folks have been chasing and asking about it. But on to roster moves. Wednesday, September 24th, the Eagles announced a 9-man roster transaction. So let's break into those. The injured reserve moves. Linebacker Nolan Smith Jr. Unfortunately, he went on IR with a triceps injury. That was the same injury that he hurt in the Super Bowl. So he re-aggravated it this past week versus the Los Angeles Rams. This is the one that he had the surgery on in the offseason. So we're wishing Nolan a speedy recovery. Maybe this is a sign where Howie is scouring and looking for some more edge rusher help. But the only thing that we can do is pray that Nolan is able to recover quickly and be healthy for us moving forward. Also, cornerback Jacorian Bennett, who we got in a trade with the Raiders with involving Thomas Booker, and wide receiver Darius Cooper also landed on IR, meaning that they all will have to miss at least 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Now, these are key depth hits. All right. We're not going to sugarcoat that, especially off the edge with Nolan and in the cornerback wide receiver rooms with Bennett and Cooper. Now, some additions to the active roster. We signed Marcus Epps to the 53-man roster. Kudos to him. Also, tight end Cameron Latu was brought up to the active roster. Kudos to him. And finally, cornerback Perry Nickerson was also elevated to the roster. Again, kudos to him. So now some practice squad moves that the Eagles did was sign linebacker Lance Dixon to the practice squad. He had a fine training camp and also a preseason. So it's good that he's getting an opportunity on the practice squad to continue to showcase his talents and potentially work his way up to the active roster. We got an old face back. We got back cornerback Eli Ricks added back to the practice squad. And one final person that was added to the practice squad who in a million years we would have never thought that they will be back in Midnight Green. But if you all remember in 2022, QB1 said, look, when I call you, make sure you pick up that phone. All right. And that guy and that gentleman that is signed back to the practice squad is yours truly, wide receiver Quez Watkins. So welcome back to the family, Quez. Hopefully this time around, you're able to answer that phone call. But some other notable moves and claims a few days prior on September 22nd, which was a Tuesday, the Eagles claimed wide receiver Xavier Gipson off waivers. Now, I am ecstatic for that move. Obviously, as we all know, we've had some struggles in the kick return game and the punt return game, and Xavier Gipson provides some much needed boost and juice to that area. He formerly played with the New York Jets and the New York Giants, and he had a major return on a Monday night to end the game versus the Buffalo Bills. We also waived offensive lineman Kenyon Green around that time as well. If our memory serves us correctly, Kenyon Green was involved in the trade with the aforementioned CJGJ. Now, these are the headline moves. The IR slots, the injured reserve slots, will open up for at least 4 games before return eligibility. So the front office is thinking medium term. They're not thinking full term, long term, or short term. They're thinking medium term, especially with the IR candidates having to miss 4 games. So what does this ripple do? What do all these moves signal implications for, right? So with Nolan Smith out, the Eagles lose some depth and edge rush potential. They'll have to lean harder on the rotation of their remaining rushers, which includes Jalix Hunt, Zadarius Smith, Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson, Azeez Ojulari, and Ogbo Okoronkwo. I hope I did not butcher your name, but big O. And now cornerback Jacorian Bennett out. That obviously weakens the depth behind the starters. That shifts more responsibility on to Quinyon, Guantanamo Bay, Mitchell, Adoree Jackson, and the backups like Keely Ringo and or Mac McWilliams. Now, transitioning to the offense, losing Darius Cooper reduces your special teams value and also wide receiver depth. But the additions of people such as Quez Watkins on the practice squad give some more insurance in that wide receiver room. Marcus Epps coming up does add some experience in that safety room, which is going to be very, very helpful, given how much expectation is riding on that young core of Andrew Makuba and Reed Blankenship. The bottom line simply is the Eagles are recalibrating at this moment, not panic moves. So don't get all your panties in a bunch. Don't get all nervous or anything like that. It's more preventative and depth bolstering, making sure that this ship can continue sailing even when waves crash onto it. So what's brewing on today, September 25th, 2025? Obviously, there are no blockbusters or new transactions reported as of this moment, but the chatter is starting to grow loud, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, especially around one certain position. And that one certain position is the safety position, and whether the Eagles could and or would bring back CJ Gardner-Johnson. So, in case you've been living under a rock, CJ Gardner-Johnson was released by the Houston Texans after just 3 games into the 2025 NFL season. So, that immediately lit up Eagles fans and media. The Super Bowl champ has a familiar face here in these parts. He's someone who also has been productive in Philly. Could he be coming and making a return back home? But from what we got, our Super Bowl winning head coach Nick Sirianni is downplaying it when, as he tiptoed around the question, praising the young safety room and also talking about how Marcus Epps, Andrew Makuba, Reed Blankenship are continuing to develop. So that suggests that there's no strong interest at the moment. Keyword, at the moment. Also, per Adam Schefter, he weighed in. Despite the rumors and the social media noise, he doesn't view a reunion as viable right now. But it's not impossible under the NFL rules for CJ Gardner-Johnson to return, but it's not viewed as likely. So again, right now, the rumor engine is cranked up to the max, but the signals from the organization are quiet, cautious, and non-committal at this time. So, because I know that you want the truth, here's what we can piece together on CJ Gardner-Johnson legally, practically, and emotionally. So here's some background. CJ Gardner-Johnson was traded from the Eagles to the Houston Texans in March of 2025 in exchange for guard Kenyon Green plus a pick swap. He had been a big contributor in 2024. He had some solid numbers, some key plays, and was a fan favorite here in Philadelphia. Now, his release from Houston after 3 games, Houston cut him, just flat out cut him. The reasons cited included some friction with the scheme, communication breakdowns with his secondary teammates, performance concerns, and also a mismatch of his play style. Now, the rules and the league mechanics, some in the media mention old reacquisition of a traded player rule, implying maybe a barrier for the Eagles to bring him back because he hadn't been on Houston's roster for at least 4 games. But multiple reputable sources say that that rule doesn't apply in this case because being released makes him a free agent, meaning that he's able to sign with any team that he chooses, which means, again, including his own team here with the Philadelphia Eagles. So what do the Eagles think, and what does the culture say about this possible reunion with CJ Gardner-Johnson? Nick Sirianni's comments suggest confidence in the young safeties and in that safety room. Some folks believe that taking him back could reintroduce some friction within the organization, given his past critiques, also his outspoken nature, and possibly some chemistry issues with the secondary. Also, on the flip side, though, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we have to remember when you need a veteran presence, when injuries hit, and when you want someone who can make big plays, guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson can be tempting. So out of all of this, let's figure it out together. What is likely, or what's the likely scenario and outcome for this? If I had to predict where things are now, I put the probability of CJ Gardner-Johnson return in the possible but not imminent category. He is available, but the Eagles have been active adding depth. They seem confident in their internal pieces, so they likely won't close the door. But unless something shifts, whether that be an injury, a performance issue among the current safeties that we have, or something strategic, I don't see them pulling the trigger right now. I don't want to burst your bubble, but don't hold your breath too long. All right. So, what to watch for? What should we keep our eyes on over the next week or two? What moves might drop and what changes could force some action? Now, number one, the performance in the secondary. If any starters, again, such as Andrew Makuba, Reed Blankenship, or others, show any vulnerability, or if the depth gets exposed in games or practice, that would push the front office, Howie and company, to revisit bringing in a vet. Two, further injuries. With multiple guys already on IR, Nolan Smith, Jacorian Bennett, and Darius Cooper, more injuries elsewhere could force more roster changes, obviously. Number three, the roster flexibility and salary cap concerns. So bringing in someone like a CJ Gardner-Johnson means cap dollars, a spot, and a possible displacement. The Eagles will only commit if it's worth it. Number four, some rumors. Often the first sign if someone's name's being floated in a trade, the waiver wire, contract chatter, or anything of that type of nature, jazz. We saw that with the media outlets earlier this week, Adam Schefter, if reporters or more reporters start picking up inside murmurings, this might be a telltale sign where the interest level is in terms of the Eagles and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, depending on some upcoming games, if the Eagles do face teams that attack our safeties aggressively, they might feel more pressure to, in fact, shore up that safety room. But that's something that we have to continue to monitor. So, summing all of this up, the Eagles are navigating a standard early season churn, the injuries, the depth moves, the practice squad tweaks. Now, they're doing work behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to ensure that what they have built in the past season in 2024 isn't undone by attrition in this 2025 NFL campaign. The CJ Gardner-Johnson question is in fact real, emotionally compelling, and a conversation that fans will want to continue having. But for now, actions do speak louder than rumors. The team is investing in what they have, bringing in new pieces, trusting in their young players and core, and probably waiting to see how things shake out before making any type of reunion or commitment. From here, I do expect a small but tactical moves rather than those big headline trades, unless something again dramatic happens. But we have to keep in mind, folks, in this league, dramatic tends to show up unannounced. But look, I hope that you all have been having a productive week. I hope that this video serves y'all well and that we're keeping you all up to date and abreast of what's going on in Eagles Nation. Please be on the lookout for the end of the week recap presented to you by Big Husk. But look, continue to create so that you can consume. Remember to keep faith and always remember, do not let anybody tell you that you can't do something. Whatever your heart desires, whatever you're passionate in, follow your dream. But y'all know over here, it's go Birds. It's E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles. We're 3-0, going for 4-0 this week. And again, if y'all don't know who I am, I'm going to remind y'all, I go by Mr. Owns. This is the Main Thing Podcast presents, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Before I get out of here, y'all know we always got to show our supporters and family some love. To our loyal supporters, Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know that none of this can happen without the support of y'all, and thank you for y'all continued support. To our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part as a community and family. Let's continue to please like those videos. It helps with the visibility in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, don't forget to do this. Make sure to turn on the notification bells, also known as the Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when me and Big Hus drop this pressure on y'all. But look, y'all, I don't want to take up too much time. I just wanted to do a check-in with the fam. Again, I hope that you all have been having a great week and that you finish your week strong. Be on the lookout for that end of the week recap, and as well for that preview video for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But again, I go by Mr. Owens. It's been all love. Y'all stay blessed, all right?
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that